Hey everyone, this is Sasha bringing you a video tutorial today from BP4U, and today we're going to be talking about the HSL and color panels. So HSL stands for Hue, Saturation, Luminance. So a hue is the way that a color looks. You can actually not change the actual color, but the hue of the color. For example, we are changing the hue of the yellow, and you can see that we can make it look a little bit more orange or a little bit more green. And again, we can do that with all of the colors we have here. If you watch her hair bow, you can see that we can make her hair bow more pink or more blue. Again, with the blue of her shirt, we can make it look more purple or more blue. So we have some options here when it comes to these panels. I'm going to go ahead and select my All panel, and this is going to allow me to view my hue, saturation, and luminance all in one panel. So we talked about hue. Hue is being able to kind of tweak the color and manipulate the color to make just a small change. Saturation is making the colors more vibrant or more saturated, or if you desaturate a photo, you take all of the color out of it entirely. And luminance controls the brightness or the darkness of a specific color. So by using these hue, saturation, and luminance options, we can make a huge change to a photo that can be something really neat. For example, I'm going to go ahead and try to make this kind of sun line disappear somewhat. And so I can do this a couple different ways. So I can change my greens and make them a little bit more yellow, or I can change my yellow and make them a little bit more green. Or we can meet somewhere in the middle. I think I'm going to make my greens a little bit more yellow, and I'm going to make my yellows just a little bit more green. And then I can pull down here to my luminance, and I can take my yellows down a notch, and I can take my greens down a little bit too. And that just helps that blend just a little bit. We could come up here and we could see the before and the after on that. And I might not even want that to be as much with the luminance. So we have another option here, and that is the target adjustment tool. But before we get to that, let's reset our panels. If you hold down Alt or Option on a Mac, you can see that our hue, saturation, and luminance change from hue to reset hue, from saturation to reset saturation, or from luminance to reset luminance as we click on those or hold down the Alt or Option on our keyboards. So I'm just going to click that, and I can reset each one of these panels back to 0 just by clicking on that reset button. And if we had made other changes to our photo, we wouldn't want to reset the entire photo. This would allow us to reset just that change. So I have this target adjustment tool, and it's right here. Or you can come up here to Tools, Target Adjustment, and we can see the hue, saturation, and luminance. And there's also a keyboard shortcut here for that. I'm going to grab mine from right here. And so I could, again, by scrolling down or up, I can change the hue of this background right here in the sun. And so again here, I can change that in here as well. And then I can come over here and I can click on my luminance target adjustment, and I can bring that down some. And that would leave my shadow line here less noticeable and a little bit more blended, and I wouldn't have as many blown highlights in the background as well. But you do want to take notice that her bubbles here have also been affected, as well as it looks like a plant or something that was in the front of the lens here was also affected. And so that is something that you want to keep in mind, is to make sure that you are affecting just the parts of the photo that you want affected. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this saturation target adjustment tool, and I'm going to come over here to the skin. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up on that. And that's going to give the skin of my photo just a little bit more life. When I come up here to white balance, I can add yellow and I can add magenta. But oftentimes when I edit, I really like to add some green I like to add some red as well. And so by being able to use my target adjustment and pull up on that, I'm able to add some red and some orange to get a more natural, bright, vibrant, full of life skin tone. And so this is another great way that our hue, saturation, and luminance is a really great thing to have when you're editing in Lightroom. So if we come over here to color, we can view these one color at a time. And so you can see all the changes that I've made are still here. If I didn't want to work on 2 or 3 colors at a time though, and I only wanted to see one color at once, I can use this as a different view to go ahead and pull back on my reds, or to add some more reds, or whatever kind of change that I wanted to make. And then of course I have my all view here too, and this is just another way to look at the grouping. I don't have a target adjustment tool for this particular view. I could still grab my tool from up here, but it's going to take me back into this HSL view. So when I'm working in my color group here, I can work on just one color at a time, or I can work on all of them. And I have this different group, but I have to move my sliders back and forth. So as you can see, the HSL panel is very helpful. And again, here is my before and my after. One more way that it's helpful is to desaturate a certain color completely for maybe like color splashing. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab my saturation slider here, and I'm just going to pull down all the way on the background here. The only thing that I want to note with this is that even though I did successfully desaturate the background and her skin and everything is still in color, you can see that her pants are now white and her lips are gray. And so that is something, again, to keep in mind when you are working on a photo, is that you have to look at what else is going on around it. Now I can pull my reds up just a little bit, and you can almost see a little bit of color right here, but it's not real vivid. And so by being able to pull my reds up some, I was able to sort of salvage her lips somewhat so that she doesn't have a dead look to them. So that's another option as well. You can kind of play around with that to get an interesting look and to get a unique feel to your photos. So the HSL panel and the color panel can be extremely important to editing in Lightroom, and are definitely something fun that you can use and play with to gain a new look to your picture, or to make colors pop, or anything that you want. The possibilities can be extremely awesome. So thank you for watching this video tutorial. Happy editing!